Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. This is a quick reaction video that will probably have minimal editing in it, so excuse this if this is rough. So this is my Fractal Torrent. I haven't, if you're watching this, I probably haven't even released my video on this. I got this thing in on Tuesday. I bought it myself, and I haven't had time to actually do the build yet. I've started filming the review, but yeah, not built it up yet. And I've only found today that Fractal have halted sales on this because of concerns with the fan controller on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly, I haven't done anything with this yet. So I'm just going to spin this round, show you what that is, what the possible concern is, and just take mine out and just have a look at it basically. So if we turn around to the back of the case, down here we've got the Fractal Nexus 9P Slim, which is their 9-port PWM fan hub. So what this guy does is you've got a fan header here, that plugs into your motherboard, and you set, say, 50% speed on that fan header on your motherboard. That comes down to this fella, and then this guy repeats that signal to all the fans that are plugged in here. So you set the speed on, say, chassis fan number 1, and it sets all your case fans to that speed. That's what it's supposed to do. And like, my opinion of the design of this thing, I mean, it's a little bit bare bones. It's as simple as it gets with a fan hub. Personally, if I were designing this case, I'd have done away with one of the 2.5-inch bays and just put in a square jobby that mounts on a 2.5-inch plate. That would have given them much more room to do something possibly with less strenuous requirements. But I'm not an engineer, make of that what you will. At any rate though, let's just disconnect these wires. So we can disconnect these wires, and if you've got one of these and you're worried, just unplug it, preferably from these ends here, and it's inert. As of recording this is very, very early. There are only apparently approximately maybe 4 reports in the world of problems with these. Fractal are very much getting ahead of the curve here. It sounds like this is probably a big to-do about nothing, and there's nothing to be worried about. However, Fractal are going, we're not going to do an NZXT, we're not going to do a Gigabyte, we're going to take this head on and just send people new controllers, which is very much the right thing to do. I very much applaud their very, very fast reaction to this. Anyway, let's unscrew this. So we've got a screw down here. Oh, that's a bit too tight for those ones. Bigger screwdriver. So what I'm going to be looking for when I take this out is I'm just going to have a quick look at the design and just see how it's mounted up and see if I can see anything screamingly wrong with it. I've not looked in detail at the breakdown of this situation, but clearly they're concerned about something, or they've looked at the design and been like, there is a possibility of a problem here. So we've got imperial thread screws, and those go into metal mount points there. So they're not they're going straight through into that. Let's get this under the camera. So here's the controller itself. It is a very, very simple passive controller. So there's no active circuitry on this at all. It's literally just taking external power. So the ground and the 12 volts will be going straight through to ground and 12 volts on all of these ports. And then here we've got the RPM signal. That's going back to port 1. So this fan 1 here reports the RPM back to the computer, which is why this one is marked as use this, just so you actually get an RPM signal back. And then the PWM signal on the end, that is going to then be routed to, you can see that trace comes out, and then that's routed to all of these. That's just going all the way along. I'm surprised that they can route that to 9 fans. I'm surprised they don't have just a tiny little controller that just buffers that PWM signal, but I'm guessing that they found it wasn't necessary. So the important thing about this design is, firstly, these are not plated through holes, which is exactly the trap that NZXT fell into. These are just drilled holes. So that means that there is the potential that poorly fitted screws might short through this circuit board. I don't know if that's the problem that Fractal are worried about, but they are not plated through holes. It's a big no-no, in my opinion. Just plate your screw holes. So what we ideally want to see is, here's a PCI Express riser, and as you can see, all the mount holes on this, they're all plated. So there's no concern about any internal short circuits or anything like that. Any metal from the screw contacting anywhere, all just goes straight to ground, no problems at all. So that's what we should be seeing, is plated through holes, not just drilled holes like that. It's so that is a possible issue with it. The other possibility is just simply the design of this thing. It's incredibly exposed, and the mount point in the case is not terribly exposed. However, if we put that in position, another possible issue that they're worried about is just when you've got that sitting down there. I don't know, man. There's a lot, like each one of these ports has got a 12-volt rail exposed on it, and that's a lot of just 12-volt pins just sticking up into thin air with no shielding, no cover over them or anything like that. Ideally, what I believe they should have done was designed it so these ports are the other way up. So the plastic tab, the key tab, should be on the other side, covering the pins slightly. Like, that wouldn't be full shrouding per se, but it would mean that there is just a bit of plastic in the way, just so anything that falls against it isn't immediately going straight into those pins. So that's another thing that I can spot off the top of my head. But again, I haven't looked into this. This is just a 30,000 foot overview. But this is what they're worried about. If you go to the Fractal website, and I'll put a link to their press release and the claim form in the description down below, Fractal are offering a free replacement with an updated design for these for anyone who owns one of these cases, and they have currently halted sales of these cases until they've replaced them all. So that is an incredibly good response from Fractal. I'm going to go and fill out that form and get a replacement one myself. I doubt very much that there's anything wrong with this one. However, I'm going to get the replacement just simply so I can have a look at it and see what they've changed and what they've opted to improve, and see what the concern was and how the updated one looks better. So I hope you guys found that kind of interesting. I'm going to get out of here now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.